talked to a student recently at one of our woke college campuses who said she is required in every class to introduce herself and to give her pronouns. Well, I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my ass.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Welcome to the Prepared Mind studio. Mr. T has made more of these studio backdrops for us, and I have had that much time and haven't got to them, Mr. T. Don't worry though, your emails are lined up, I'll get to them. Just like I'm going to try and get to everything else going on, and folks, we're all being run ragged. When you start every day underwater, you're gasping just to get air, much less get ahead. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're ahead enough. And I tell you what, at least by prepping, by being a prepper, you're ahead. There's some stupid shit going on, and that's why I kind of came up with Howdy Doody Time, right? The people in charge are just like puppets. They're just puppets. They're not using their brains anymore. And I tell you what, when leadership decides not to use their brains, that tells me I better use my brains. I hope you are of the same mind, right? When leadership says, hey, let's run off that cliff, what's that telling us? Well, they're going to lead us right off a fucking cliff, right? There's not a lot of mystery there anymore, right? They're like, look at that, it's a cliff. Let's go for it. And people are like, yeah, you're the leader. All right. I also want to thank everyone for dealing with me yesterday. Knee pain, gone. I just took a chainsaw, cut off my leg, because that solves problems. Well, that's practically the thinking that the United States government has. Well, we got a problem. Let's just do the quickest fix. And then, well, shit, now we can't walk anywhere anymore. Now we got to kind of hobble. And now the other leg we got left is ruined. And it's going to be destroyed in no time at all. That's what they're doing with us, folks. Now, it's basically a Wacky Wednesday. So let's get into some of the things out here that indicate shit has hit the fan, that tell us, advise us, you better be prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and means of self-defense. There's some interesting things happening. We discussed earlier this morning, distractions on distractions on distractions. It's coming. It is coming. So let's start with this, right? In Ohio, we had that huge chemical spill. This is, well, let me stop right there. Our top story for the day is not just one, not two, but 3 chemical spills. I'll share. Now, I think it was Uman who brought up, he's like, you know what? If something bad happens, people start looking around to see if it's happening elsewhere. Food factories, yeah. Right. Then we start paying attention. Any food factory fires. Children start dying of heart attacks, and we start looking for children dying of heart attacks. Is it really getting worse, or are we just now looking for the information? Well, when it comes to killing chickens, they've done an awful lot to kill chickens. When it comes to killing children and super athletes, that's pretty much it, especially when someone stands up in front of a crowd and asks hundreds of people, how many of you know somebody who had a serious injury from cerveza bug juicination? And people raise their hands. But now let's look at chemical spills, shall we? Let's examine this. Are we just looking around, or is there actually a chemical spill every day in America? Well, a reporter decided he was going to show up and listen to Ohio Governor DeWino. And he was fucking arrested right? This reporter was covering it, and I really don't know what this guy did to be arrested, but apparently it wasn't enough because they dismissed all the charges. Some of this is tongue-in-cheek, folks, but really, it's fucking howdy doody time. This is the world that we're seeing now. Go watch the movie Stupidocracy. And 20 years ago, thereabouts, it really looked asinine. Today, you're like, oh, I saw that guy on TV the other day. Anyways, I think the message to reporters is don't ask real questions. Don't ask tough questions, and certainly don't ask intelligent follow-up questions. That's a disinformation tactic. Remember, folks, the federal government, which is often followed by state governments, the federal government now has a misinformation and disinformation bureaucracy designed and intended to use propaganda against us, the people, as well as control our speech through censorship and propaganda and lying and threatening and, of course, arresting reporters. Even if they release them the next day and drop charges, the fear of being arrested, that's going to stop some people. It is at that point that I say, oh yeah, well, fuck you. I'm going to talk about this topic. I wish we could get more traction, folks, but they're hiding us. Absolutely hiding us. Okay, get your questions down below because I'm going to do my monologue followed followed by the inner circle. That's you guys. You, if you're here, folks, during the week, you're part of the inner circle, right? Because you participate all through the week and you keep up with this. So again, I invite you to come to the inner circle every day and do just that. Now, Ukraine says this. I couldn't believe I can't believe it. Ukraine says that 6 Russian spy balloons were spotted over Kiev and that they were shot down by the Air Force. What fucking Air Force? The Ukraine Air Force? The one that won't put jets up and fight Russia? The Air Force that isn't giving close air support to their troops? What Air Force? But let's move beyond that question. Ukraine will say whatever they're told to say. So they're saying that there were 6 Russian spy balloons spotted over Kiev. Okay, folks, here's Ukraine. Here's Russia. They call them, it's the jet stream. And so you've got 2 countries, Russia and Ukraine. The wind blows from Ukraine towards Russia, and it goes all the way around the planet, that direction, just like the jet stream flows from Japan across the ocean to the United States, facilitating Japan sending fire balloons over to the United States of America during World War II. They used the jet stream to deliver their bombs of fire, right? I mean, pinches of power, the bombs. China has the same benefit if they want to play the balloon game. But get this. Russia is so powerful that they ignore the laws of nature and the jet stream, and they can somehow, folks, send to Ukraine from Russia against, right, against the jet stream. This is the jet stream direction. Somehow Russia sends balloons against the jet stream, which goes up to 200-300 miles an hour. You buying this shit? If Russia wants to spy on Kiev, Russia was our Cold War adversary. We had the SR-71 Blackbird for high altitude reconnaissance. We had the U-2 spy plane for high altitude reconnaissance. Gary Powers' U-2 was shot down over Russia, and he was captured, and he was accused of being a communist infiltrator and allowed himself to be shot down. So, and whatever story you believe about that ancient Cold War history, The Russians have had our U-2 technology. If they didn't invent their own, and folks, they invented some incredible wartime masterpieces. The Soviets. They did them really cheap, really inexpensive, and very functional. I'm talking about the MiG aircraft, the MiG-19, the MiG-21. They, when the Americans caught those, they're like, these things are junk, right? But they work really fucking well. Why? Just because they aren't overly expensive, overly technical things. Anyways, let us move on, if we shall, and just look at this idea that Russia is going to send balloons over Ukraine against the jet stream rather than use their own technology, whether they invented it or they got it off the U-2, to spy on Kiev. Let me ask you this question. Why use a spy plane or balloon to spy on Kiev when Russia undoubtedly has human intelligence? That is, people on the ground who can walk right up to things with a little spy camera on their lapel and film and take pictures of whatever they want. So why, I'm asking, why are they saying that Ukraine shot down all 6 Russian spy balloons? What are they doing with this balloon story? Are they trying to make it sound like it's very common? Everyone loves balloons these days. 400-year-old low-tech balloons. Or are they trying to hide the fact that there's an extraterrestrial balloon invasion? Fucking wacky ass Wednesday, I tell you. This story just made me go, what the hell? Literally, what the hell? Now, back to our top story. Our top story, chemical spills in America. Has it been going on every day and we just don't see it? Or is there a conspiracy to topple chemicals and mix them? Well, I'll tell you what. In Arizona, on the interstate, a tanker spilled toxic chemicals after a rollover shut down the interstate for hours. Right? We had a couple of train derailments when the Ohio train derailed. And folks, as personal confirmation, a friend of mine in Idaho said the same thing happened there. That the highway had a massive spill. They shut down the highway for hours and hours and hours. So is this copycat practice for SHTF lockdown? Are they derailing trains and turning over chemical trucks so they can shut down everything and say, hey, the whole country gets locked down and they don't even realize that everyone else is locked down. They think it's their own little issue, their own little world. I bet a theorist who likes conspiracies could probably put this together real fast, right? Every geographical region can be isolated from other geographical regions because we all have our own. Remember, they've called the Ohio disaster a disaster on the scale of Chernobyl. I think, I am not Howdy Doody. My brains are not a sack of mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese laced with crack cocaine. Right? It's just odd, just considering this. What are they trying to make us swallow? Right? They want us to believe that the balloon is the new technological weapon, or that the balloon is an alien invasion. They want us to believe that these are just accidents, that trains and trucks are rolling over, or is it really practice? I don't know anymore. I just don't know what to think of these people. They're trying to persuade us to believe us, or believe, don't believe in what we think, the us's. They want us to believe what they think. Anyways, just food for thought. What the hell else are you going to do these days while you're locked down for 2 weeks to flatten the curve on rolling trucks? Really, how hard would it be, folks? to have a truck rollover in key points in the U.S., a couple hundred trucks. Do you think they could coordinate a couple hundred trucks all kind of crashing and rolling over all over the country at key points? Maybe mix a few chemicals that create a big cloud of shit, right? Make it look really nasty. Oh, hell, even real chemicals, and set them on fire, make it look really good, right? Keep everyone locked down. Could the aliens be doing this? Could the aliens be attacking our infrastructure with their low-tech balloons that somehow can dodge aim or sidewinder missiles? Okay. A lot of this is tongue-in-cheek, folks. It is satire. And you get to decide for yourself, what do you want to believe? Who are you going to listen to? Right? I'm really not trying to make light of the emergencies and the tragedies, but I'm trying to use a little bit of humor to think about it. Good golly, I tell you what, my knee has been good all day. And just now, it decided it was going to fire up on me. Son of a bitch. All right. Let us continue, if we shall. Get your questions in, your comments, your opinions, your thoughts, everything, get it in. Right? Now, we're going to switch back over to Ohio. There's an attorney. Apparently, this attorney is now representing a bunch of these residents who live in East Palestine, Ohio. And he's urging them, do not take initial payment from Norfolk Southern, which is the railroad. The railroad is offering payments to people for what? Right. The complaint is that they've been making lots of money and they're not taking care of their tracks. And this tragedy happens and there's cattle dying, there's pets dying, there's wildlife dying. How many people have died? Someone answer that question in the comment section. Ooh, man, how many people have died? This is highly suspicious in my... I'm a cynical SOB today. I read a couple of news articles that people woke up, went out to their barn, and all of their chickens died. All of their livestock. And I thought, okay, well, if a noxious, deadly, toxic cloud of gas got into the barn, blew on through, why didn't it blow into the house and kill the residents? Just a question. Now, I know that houses are basically sealed, but they're not perfectly sealed. And if a noxious, meaning stinky, toxic gas got into your house, even 1% of it, you would think you would smell it, right? You'd be like, oh, shit, that stinks. And maybe they are stinking. I don't know. But what do we know? Right? We have an attorney now representing people. How many people have died? We know that wildlife has died. We know that pets have died. We know that livestock have died. Now, here's the thing with animals, folks. Animals are incredibly tough, right? Go out on a winter night and sleep outside. See if you wake up alive. See if you can even get off the fucking ground. If you are alive, right? Your joints would be frozen, you'd be creaking, and you'd be pissed off. Take a look at a dog, a cat. They live outside all the time. Mine used to love to bury themselves in snow and then pop out and surprise everyone, run around and act stupid, right? They're much tougher than us. And I imagine the same goes for the air we breathe. Animals are just tougher than humans. We're basically a bunch of pussies compared to animals. Animals are dying, but humans are not. Or are humans dying left and right? And why isn't this a state of emergency affair for the state of Ohio? Well, I mean, monkeypox, right? I heard this report. Monkeypox. They tried scaring the whole planet. Monkeypox. Well, it's only really a problem if you're having gay orgies. But monkeypox is a national crisis that the president addresses. But, a tanker load of chemicals making essentially a mustard gas or mustard gas style toxic cloud. But that's not an emergency. It's like Chernobyl, but it's not an emergency. Right? Speaking of that, where is Howdy Doody? Where is our president? Where is our president? I really think these balloons are more than just balloons. Now, apparently in Ukraine, a big fat light balloon using 400-year-old technology can defy Newtonian physics and fly against the jet stream over into Ukraine. These 400-year-old technology, lighter than air, fluffy little balloons can zigzag and dodge fucking missiles fired from an F-16 in Michigan over Lake Huron. Okay, so NORAD, which is the North American Radar Detecting, the Department of Defense, those guys. NORAD is conducting air defense exercises off the coast of Washington State. They're now having exercises, right? Because, there are objects have been shot down by U.S. fighter pilots. Is this the new balloon-to-balloon tactics? If these balloons are such great technology, why don't we have our own balloons, not weather balloons, but our own balloons, and arm them with Sidewinder missiles? If their balloon does 30 miles an hour, maybe we should make one that goes 40. Let's really take them on at their own game, right? Top Gun balloon style, right? That movie just came out, right? Tom Cruise. I don't know how he does it. Still making action movies that are cool. And I haven't seen the movie, by the way, but I have seen the trailer. Yeah, Top Gun for balloons, man. Can you just see them? They're like, hey, Billy, man, hit the afterburner. We're catching up to the enemy. We're checking in at 22 knots. Get my crossbow. I'm going to shoot that son of a bitch. Right? Top Gun balloon. I don't know. Am I crazy? Ooh, man. Am I crazy, man? Okay, thank you very much. Just checking in with Ooh, man. Hit the stealth button. Right? You're like, I'm in the clouds. I'm going to throw white paint on the balloon. Oh, shit, no clouds. Throw some blue paint on the balloon, right? Splashing fucking paint on it. There's some old camouflage, old cloaking technology. I don't know. What do you guys think? Once again, this really is your show on a daily basis. It is. It is. All right. By the way, today, Hollywood actress Raquel Welch died, age 82. Beauty divine is now gone. I don't know what to say. Just interesting. No, I don't think it was the Jim Jones juice. Nope, not in this case. Not in this case. All right. Christine Bahana sent me a couple of headlines that I think are important. Rising seas threaten to wipe entire nations off the map. That came from the United Nations chief. I think they recycled that news story. They tried that one 10 years ago. They tried that one 20 years ago. They tried that one 30 years ago. That rising sea levels from global warming. No, not really. Not really. And then, of course, the bird flu World Health Organization, the H5N1 concern. Yeah, thank you very much, Christine. But these people are going to push their fear porn. They're going to push it. Why not? Why not? Now, this was kind of a mysterious story. And I want to thank Fuzzy as well as others for bringing it to my attention. This has to do with the balloons, I think. This comes from the westernjournal.com. GOP Senator John Kennedy, not John F. Kennedy. He lost his head literally back in 1963. This is Senator John Kennedy from the state of Louisiana. He says this, quote, "Lock your doors tonight." There was a classified briefing for the senators on these unidentified objects. Why the fuck do you need to lock your doors at night? Can these balloons come into your house? Really? Why does there need to be a classified briefing for the Senate? Seriously. The senators cannot declare war. That's the other house in Congress. The president can take military action because he is the commander in chief without it being an act of war, but rather in national defense. Why do we need to lock our doors tonight? What about tomorrow night? What about next month? I think it's mysterious. What the fuck are they talking about? Why should I be afraid of a balloon? Why do they have to be classified? Why not just fucking tell us? Right? There's this thing that you and I can't handle the truth. I'm sick of being treated by infants as if I too am an infant and can't handle it. Now, Senator Kennedy said that this balloon thing has been going on for quite a time, right? Longer than anyone realized. Oh, so now the Senate can be brought in on a classified balloon secret that's been going on a long time and nobody knew about it? And it's worth everyone locking their doors at night? What is this, fucking Passover? You're going to have to lock your doors at night? We've all been subject to what? What is going on that we should have locked our doors, but we didn't know any better? You don't think that's a breach of, fidelity with the American people, not to warn us about these dangerous floating balloons? Now, Senator Kennedy said that Biden and his administration need to be more transparent, meaning they need to be truthful with the American people regarding what these objects were and if they posed a threat. Why would he tell us we need to lock our doors at night if these objects don't pose a threat? So they must pose a threat. And has the Biden administration been transparent on any fucking thing? No, they haven't. So I don't expect that to change anytime soon. But still, interesting. You know, I am glad that I am a prepper, that I am prepared. That I'm prepared. These people are just, they should be classified, categorized. They should be commemorated on coins for their stupidity, right? The Biden Department of Justice. Get your questions in because we're going to switch on over to you guys. I'm going to switch on over to you guys. The Department of Justice, under the Attorney General, Merrick Garland Garlicker, they're not going to charge Representative Matt Gaetz in their sex trafficking probe. Now, so for years, they've been going after Matt Gaetz. The guy, the man, the ex-government FBI agent who tried extorting $25 million from the Gaetz family, was found guilty of doing just that, trying to extort money out of them. That is to say, lie about him, make him look bad unless they paid up. But for some reason, the Department of Justice decided they would investigate Matt Gaetz because someone who was trying to extort him came up with a concocted story, bullshit, to try and extort money out of him. They finally gave up. Folks, if they had any proof of any crime, they could try him just to destroy his reputation. They don't even have enough proof to put on a phony bullshit trial. Folks, they impeached President Trump without any proof. That's true. They impeached him without any real proof. This fucking leg. There we go. But for Matt Getz, they would need a jury if they were going to try him. So here we are, folks. This is the world we live in. Balloons, chemicals, chickens, viruses. The CDC came out today and said, there's nothing really changes with the way we're going to deal with children, and our recommendation is that they wear masks to protect them from a virus that actually doesn't do anything to them because they're children. And the masks don't do anything to stop it or prevent it or anything. So let's just keep doing what we're doing and see if we can match the definition of insanity. Insanity, folks. Insanity like the 53 Illinois schools. Out of the 53, not a single student. In other words, there's 53 schools in Illinois where not a single student in that entire school at all the grade levels can do math at their grade level. In other words, there's 53 schools where every single fucking student fails at math. But I'm willing to bet, and I'm going to go this far before I turn the show over to you 100%. I'm willing to bet that these kids all know how to use butt plugs and destroy their reproductive organs, all while being sexually enticing for their teachers. Because that is the type of world that this government wants to promote. All right, folks, it is now time to Ask John Live. Welcome back. Very short commercial break. Sponsored by all the people that aren't sponsoring the show. That's why it was so damn short. Okay, man. Let's have at it, man. Who wants to step up? All right, we've got Metalhead. When I first looked at that, I thought it was Meathead. But no, it is Metalhead. And he says, John, they tried killing 90%, but failed to get the Jim Jones juice. Now these pillow-biting trans testicles are letting their balloons be another distraction. Trans testicles. I got to stop right there. That's a callback, man, from Andrew Dice Clay. Andrew Dice Clay. And a couple of days ago, I was driving, and I thought, does he have any videos on YouTube? Is any of his grotesque locker room style humor even allowed on YouTube? Okay, let me go back to Metalhead's comments here about the balloons being distractions. He says, I say, if it is anything, they are practicing their soon EMP attack on its own people so they can finish the job of depopulation. What do you think? Okay, this is interesting. This is kind of my take on your take, combining it with the take I had and a thought. Could these balloons be being launched by our own government? I don't know. Months ago, I was in the Deep South, very near a military base, and there was a balloon way the fuck up there, and it wasn't moving. It was really hard to see the food. You know what it looked like, this balloon? It looked like a giant goldfish. You know, the crackers that smile back when you eat them. One of those goldfish, except it was grayish in color, almost like a cloud, but not quite. Looked like a freaking goldfish, and it did not move. Now, what was fascinating, though, is I took a picture of it with my camera, my smartphone, and it did not show up, would not register. You could see it with the naked eye, and it had to be many, 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 many thousands of feet. But it was so close to a military base, a naval military base near the water. Give you guys a little clue what's going on here. Didn't move at all. I thought, how is that thing not moving up that high? You know, you'd think that the winds would take it. Anyways, interesting. Could they position these things? Because now we've learned that they're all over the country, and they have been for a while, and they can sneak in under our radar. Could they use these balloons to preposition and set up a bunch of EMPs, electromagnetic pulse weapons, and take out key infrastructure locations. It's possible. What else could they use these for? Balloons. What else could they use them for? I don't know. Maybe if you guys aren't aware, go look at videos of Project Bluebeam. Right, it's kind of a mind control setup that they had going. To fool people, to trick them with 3D holographics in the air. There's just so much crazy shit. And it's like, what is the government willing to do to us? Well, they're certainly willing to lie to us about the cerveza bug. They're certainly willing to lie to us about the Jim Jones juice, that being the cure. They're certainly willing to lie to us about going to war in Ukraine against Russia is a good thing because we love Ukraine. They're willing to lie to us about anything. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Okay. I'm going to say at this point, thank you. Thank you very much for that question. And let's move on to the next. I've got a lot of things to talk about. Oh, here we go. Man, get that back up there, man. Had to do with truck crashes. Let's get right back into that. Wait a minute. Oh no, we're going to go with Penelope Binkley. And thanks for the message today, Penelope. She writes, I think we will probably see more and more incidents from here on out due to people dying suddenly behind the wheel. Oh, Penelope grabs the brass ring and runs with it. Right? You get the stuffed toy, the big one on the top row that no one ever gets. That's a good one. Could this train wreck in Ohio not from the faulty infrastructure, but the engineer keeling over? Truck drivers keeling over. Yeah, we do have truck accidents all the time, folks. Let me tell you about one I saw in Sacramento back in the 1990s. For some reason, this fucking truck broke down at Power Inn Road on Highway 50. Now, Power Inn was described as Power In because that's where the power came into Sacramento. This huge set of transmission corridor lines. Well, this fucking fuel truck full of fuel, for some reason, stops on Highway 50. And somehow it starts leaking fuel. And somehow that fuel catches fire. And then it erupts into this conflagration that was so huge that it burnt up the high voltage transmission lines overhead. And they snap like, burnt noodles. And Power In became Power In No More. It was a huge issue, huge problem. Accidents happen. And it almost seems like of all the fucking places to stop a truck that's going to leak fuel, that's going to catch fire, that's going to grow to such a huge fucking fireball that it can melt steel, or at least soften the steel enough so that it stretches and snaps. It was pretty interesting. Okay. All right. Jolene, man, what do we have next? We got Mr. X. He says, John Kennedy of Louisiana said the balloons have been happening for a very long time. People need the truth about it. I concur, damn it. I need to know why we still have 400-year-old balloon technology as the greatest threat to our nation. We've been to space. We've been to the moon. We've sent probes to the Mars. Aliens have sent probes to our anuses. Our solar system is so big that we launched fucking rockets in the 70s and they still haven't left the solar system all the way. Or have they? Voyager, have they actually finally made it to the edge of the solar system after almost 50 fucking years? And in order to get to the next star at that speed, it's going to be about another, I don't know, 500,000 years before it reaches the first star. And we're supposed to believe, Jolene, what? Just one? We're supposed to believe, right, that these are UFOs. Anyways, let's get back to your point. The balloons have been happening for a very long time, and the people need the truth about it. Okay, I want the truth about these balloons. This balloon technology. Right, why can't they be detected with radar? Why can't you shoot them down? What's the point of having hypersonic or supersonic jets? They're not hypersonic. We have hypersonic, but basically we fly supersonic jets. Yeah, just unbelievable. We need the truth about it. We need the truth about a lot of things. They still haven't let us know who was on the fucking airplane going down to Little St. James Island to play with our good buddy. And I say that definitely tongue-in-cheek, facetiously, smart-assedly, right? Jeffrey Epstein. We still can't get the truth about the secret documents that Biden has. Why isn't he being arrested for violating countless laws? We're not going to get the truth about jack shit with these people. Do you trust them? I don't trust them with our food, and yet they're responsible for regulating. I don't trust them with their power. Look what they are doing to our power here and also in Europe. I don't trust them with anything. I couldn't be more happy to be a prepper now than ever, ever, ever. I mean, okay. Let's do this. Let's move on if we shall. I got a lot of stuff to talk about, but then I'm going to jump right back in just a second here with some really nasty ones. All right, that's Uman. He says truck crashes happen any day. Haven't seen any evidence to indicate this is anything other than a clusterfuck. The Arizona spill was nitric acid. Woo! Not saying don't keep an eye on it, just not jumping to conclusions. Man, that's the best exercise I get is to jump to conclusions. Now, here's the deal. Airline pilots have died in the cockpit. Have any airlines crashed because of, the pilots dying? Both of them having a heart attack simultaneously? No. That's why they have a pilot and a co-pilot. That's why they do that, is so if one has any medical emergency, the other one can land the fucking plane, and we don't end up with a situation like the movie Airplane, where everyone's had the fish and they're all going to die. Now, I do say, do it like you, man. Let's keep an eye on it. But I am gonna poke a little fun at the conspiracy theories, and I'm gonna look at the conspiracy theories for the granules of truth. Right? We should take a look at it, keep an eye on it. If they hadn't have done the bullshit pandemic, I wouldn't be as cynical as I am now. But these fucking people went into it in government at the top, knowing exactly what they were doing, knowing it was a lie, testing the people, pushing the people, abusing the people, using and abusing the trust we have in them in their office. So I don't trust them on any fucking thing anymore. Literally. Okay. Here we go. Right. I'm going to ask this question. Right. Congress today introduced a bill to defund Wuhan's animal lab. Why the fuck, is my question, is the District of Columbia's U.S. government corporation, why is that government funding bioweapons and animal experimentation in another nation, and a communist nation at that? Were they doing the same things in Ukraine? Wouldn't surprise me, but why? If the research is legal, if the research is ethical, if the research is, capable of producing results that benefit mankind. Why aren't we doing them right here in the United States of America? Have we exported that technology as well, how to do research? Well, I guess that's the fucking case, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. It does, right? And here's another one, folks, that just got to me. A mother was denied life-saving heart surgery. Why? Because she did not take the Jim Jones juice. She's unvaccinated. She was denied surgery on those grounds. I thought access to healthcare was a human right. Remember that when dickhead Obama said that healthcare access is a human right? We need to make sure everyone can get healthcare. What's funny is, 10 years later, essentially, the government removes everyone's right to healthcare, access to healthcare. First, they make everyone pay for a fucking system that doesn't work, and then they take the entire system away from us and say, cerveza bug. Unbelievable. I really thought access to healthcare was a human right. Like, they cannot deny you. If they can do the surgery, it doesn't say heart replacement. It says surgery. What does that tell you? The hospital and the physicians are prejudicial. Now, I'm going to take a wild fucking guess at this stage and say that once they admitted her to the hospital and she's on life-saving critical care ICU equipment, do you know how much those people get paid to have someone in an ICU bed every day? To be in a hospital bed alone for an hour will fucking break the bank. So they admit this lady and they say, oh yeah, you're in big, big trouble. You're all screwed up. You can't leave. You can't go home. We can't take you off this machine. If you leave this machine, you're dead. You need heart surgery right now. So the hospital's making how many tens of thousands a day on this poor lady? She can't leave the hospital. She can't go home. She'll die. They probably got her fucking trached and who knows what else, right? So they're sucking the money out of this woman's insurance, out of her family, and then denying her the very surgery that would get her out of that hospital bed and get her home safe. Bunch of fucking hypocrites. They took the Hippocratic Oath so that they can become hypocrites. Hippocratic Oath, right? Do no harm. To help your patients, to give patients what they need. Oh, no, it's all political agenda now, folks. Everything is political agenda. All right, let's do this. Let's get in here. Let's do some questions. Jolene, who do we want to step on up? It is David. He says, when I see an elite involved in scandal that magically goes away, or they are exonerated of, I assume they're actually guilty, but have decided to play ball with whomever is holding the evidence. So let's apply this to Matt Gaetz, because maybe that's what you're saying. When I see an elite involved in scandal, Matt Gaetz being accused of sexual crimes, and that they magically go away, or they are exonerated. Matt Gaetz has not magically had it gone away. In fact, the perpetrator of the original accusation is now in jail for his crime of extortion. But let's continue. Let's just say, well, they continued investigating him. Maybe there was something there. Maybe this guy that was extorting him knew about Matt Gaetz, got inside information from someone in the FBI that an investigation was ensued. Right? And he's like, hey, you give me $25 million and I'll talk to somebody and make it all go away. Well, maybe Matt Gaetz really did do something very nasty. And so the government went to him and they said, we're going to investigate you. We're going to investigate you. We're going to investigate you. We're going to investigate you some more unless you become our bitch. In other words, we own you. Right? You will play ball our way, or we'll let the evidence out and we're going to try you. Now, what gets me is it took years for them to finally get Matt Gaetz to, I guess, play ball. Was his agreement to play ball, was that compounded with changing his mind about Speaker of the House, douchebag McCarthy? You could make an argument and a case for that. You can make an argument and a case for that, but why did it take them so long? If they had the information they needed, if they had evidence that Matt Gaetz truly was a criminal, why did it take years for him to finally go, okay, whatever you want, I'll say yes, just whatever? I don't think it would take long. Right? They would squeeze the shit out of him real fast, make him squeal like a pig. That's my take on it. But yeah, there are other elites that just disappear and then suddenly things go away. Kind of like Prince Andrew, who is associated with Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew of England, brother of King Charles, no doubt, no less. Good buddies, named in lawsuits over, well, his sexual licentiousness and violations of crimes. He basically was exiled by the Queen Mother before she passed on to fruitier plains. So yeah, fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating. Hunter Biden. But his information is just the gift that keeps on giving, right? It is questionable at the very least, right? What happens with these high-profile crime cases. They're going after Rudy Giuliani ever since 2020. We're in 2023 now, folks. Rudy Giuliani went from being the media superstar and darling to sweep him under the rug and get rid of him. And they threatened him with lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. I think that either they need to learn what a threat really means and how to use it, or that it really is just a bunch of bullshit and made up crimes against Republicans. Because it would have done a great deal service more for the deep state to look at Matt Gaetz and go, everyone pay attention. This is what happens when you don't do what we say. Matt Gaetz is accused of sex crimes. Put him in jumpsuit, put him in chains, march him in front of the judge, guilty. And just make a fucking huge case out of him to all the other would-be patriots and say, we will fabricate and make whatever information you need or we need to make you behave. Interesting stuff. So Uman says, this is a drama for a grand play. They give us confidence someone is trying to save us, but goes their way in the end anyway. Oh, I see what you're saying, like with Matt Gaetz. Yeah. It is grand Kabuki theater. Because from our perspective, our little seats that we have, that's exactly what happens. Is we're given a hero, we're given a protagonist, right, to root for, and then they take it away from us. Disappointment. And truly, we have a pessimistic view of Republicans in Congress because they all seem to be owned or bend and sway in the wind, give up, act like complete idiots and dunderheads, Trey Gowdy. Right, Matt Gaetz folded like a cheap suit in the end, but he had his justification. Marge Taylor Greene, same story. What the hell? Lauren Boebert had lost the election in 2022 and then magically won it during a recount. More words and events to that effect. Did they sit down and say, hey, look, if you want to be a loudmouth Republican, this is just conjecture, folks, but is Boebert owned now? If you want to be a loudmouth Republican, we're going to get rid of you. We'll give you your seat back. We'll let you win this election, but you're going to have to stop this shit. And then they take them into the back room and show them some alien films and go, they're really here, and we'll let them eat you if you don't straighten the fuck up. Or we have alien body snatchers. Maybe that's what's going on. They replace them with body snatchers. Once they grow a body to match, let's say they go to Matt Gaetz's, let's get fucking crazy. They go to his bathroom, break into his house, get some of his DNA, grow a body, looks just like Matt Gaetz, sounds just like Matt Gaetz, and they put it in a suit and they teach it to speak English, right? And they're like, there you go. And then they grab the real Matt Gaetz, throw him away because he is too damn patriotic, and they put the fake Matt Gaetz up there, right? The impostore. And he starts saying all the right words. Okay, McCarthy, you can go in, but by golly, let's try and do a better job. All right, Big Marge is like, I love Kevin McCarthy now. And those other patriotic Republicans are a bunch of stooges. All right, cynical. Talk about fucking cynical, right? Just about every day I go and have a big bowl of cynical with sprinkled sugar on top. I think Ooman does too. But I try to stay positive, damn it. I try, and then something like this happens. Something like this. Democrat propaganda. We had another shooting at a college. Never mind the fact that he's a former felon who illegally got a gun and decided to go on a killing rampage followed by suicide. The fact of the matter is that we need to rush as fast as we can and get some gun control laws that are common sense, right? Because the Michigan state shooting. What state is Michigan? Oh, yeah, that's the state where they shot down a UFO balloon. And that's the state where Governor Gretchen the Grinch Whitmore lives, who, folks, was almost kidnapped by a bunch of left-wing turds who were called right-wing turds, but were heavily influenced by the FBI, whose case fell apart against the suspected, planned, conspiratorial kidnapping that never occurred. Yeah, Michigan Democrats, folks, they're trying to ride in on this propaganda that we need gun control. And folks, it won't make it. They know better, and they don't care, meaning the Democrats. But once again, they're trying to pass unconstitutional laws. They're BS gun laws. They know they can't hold up in court, but they're going to pass them anyway. There needs to be a penalty for these legislators for passing laws that violate our Constitution. But John, that's just their job. They're just doing their job and trying to do their best. If part of my job meant performing an act, but in the performance of that act, I violated someone else's right and it damaged them and their lives and their wealth and their quality of life, I could be sued. I could be sued. Why can't legislators who are in the seat acting as a representative, they violate people's laws, ruin their lives, cost them money, take down their standard of living, and it's no big fucking deal? I think that's a fair freaking question. All right, enough of me. What do you guys think? Jolene, what do we have next? We have the Charlanator. It says, my brother-in-law lives outside of Pittsburgh. Is that Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or Pittsburgh, California? My boyfriend-in-law lives outside of Pittsburgh, and he says the officials are telling them, quote, nothing to worry about. That's interesting to know, but nothing to worry about what? Chemicals? Aliens? The Russians? You need to be a little more specific. I see you, Mr. Uman. I see you and raise you 4 or 5. All right. Yeah, nothing to worry about. Well, let me look at this. A lot of people say, it's nothing to worry about. Government's telling you to stay locked in your house. That's not going to affect the economy. Nothing to worry about. You need to get the Jim Jones juice. Nothing to worry about there. Just trust the government. When officials tell me things, especially, don't worry about it. We got this. Yeah, I worry about it a lot. Okay, do we have any more chemicals from the train wreck? Thank you, Charlanator. Appreciate that update. Yeah, chemicals. That's right. That was my top story. Nothing to worry about. There's just dead animals. Are there dead people? Man, are there dead people? There's no dead people, just dead animals. Just dead animals. Folks, while you and I were sleeping, while we weren't paying attention. My cottage farm, not even the conductor's dead. Thanks, Zooman. Hey, cottage farm. There's a holy war brewing, folks, as if we didn't have enough shit going on. The Catholic Church has taken umbrage with the government that has tried prosecuting a Catholic for being a Catholic. Kind of funny, since the Catholics used to attack anyone who wasn't Catholic. But that was hundreds of years ago. Apparently, as humans, we're supposed to be much more refined and evolved. Apparently not, right? The question asked by Father Pavone about the FBI going after and targeting Catholics. Yes, are we going to challenge the immoral, ungodly policies of the Democrat Party? Ooh, the government does not like it when churches take a partisan position. Unless, of course, the church says that they love all of the racial division, and the church says, yes, you should take the Jim Jones Jews, right? As long as you're doing what the government wants, they're good with churches saying it. Just don't go against the government. I think we're seeing what I like to call a pattern of behavior. Patterns of behavior indicate, folks, certain things. Like, I don't know, we can trust the government. Nothing to worry about. Folks, Kamala Harris says the spy balloon will have no impact on U.S.-China relations. Right. China turns around and the foreign ministry threatens retaliation, says the U.S. shoot-down had a grave impact on relations. Fuck you to China, right? What is the retaliation? The next time we see an American balloon floating over, we're going to shoot it down. I say do it. We don't need 400-year-old technology floating around in the atmosphere. But yeah, this is another World War III plus aliens. Let's go. Okay, man, what else do we have? Is there anyone left who wants to just throw darts at this dartboard of stupidity? And Arter Scott says, I'll throw some fucking darts at this stupidity. He says, I would think Musk will be president someday. It's possible. I would have never thought that Trump could be president. A hotel real estate mogul, well, and entertainer and casino owner. I didn't think he would be popular enough to be president. Well, so why not Musk? The way politics are going to the left, back and to the left, back and to the left, back and to the left. As much as politics are going back and to the left, just leaving their brains all over the the boot of the automobile, it's very possible that Elon Musk could be president. I mean, look at the fucking politicians that make it there. Biden, are you kidding me? That's Walter the fucking puppet. Obama, he's a butt puppet. George W. Bush, you know, realistically, folks, the fucking guy's a dunderhead. Right? He's like Curious George. The Clintons president. The last time we truly had a statesman for president would have been Ronald Reagan. Before that, Gerald Ford, not so much. Jimmy Carter, certainly not. Nixon, puppet. Johnson, mega puppet. You might say that JFK was a statesman, but he was also accused of being a communist, even though his policies at the time are so right-leaning in today's politics that they would have to call him an extremist, right-winger. Before that, Ike, President Eisenhower would probably be we're being led along by non-leaders, complete morons. Are you prepared, folks? Howdy Doody time or SHTF time? Or is it both? Is it both? I mean, literally, folks. With all these chemical spills, I think we need to shut down the nation again, just for 2 weeks. We need to flatten the curve. on on truck crashes and chemical spills. Everyone just stay home so we can get stuff cleaned up. Only essential cleanup crews will go out. Don't worry about the balloons floating down and trying to, balloon coming to your door. You're like, who is it? And they're like, it's a balloon. Balloon who? Chinese spy balloon. Are you sure? Candygram. Folks, shit has hit the fan. These fucking people are nuts. You need to be prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Chance favors the prepared mind. Semper Fi. God bless America. I'll see you very soon.